Well guys, it's that time of year again. We're approaching the halfway mark of January, which means we're getting close to that inevitable General Nintendo Direct. Now, it's pretty obvious that this thing is probably going to happen in the month of February, but we have some kind of conflicting sources. We have some rumors popping up, but of course, none of this is to be taken like an extreme truth. Take it with a grain of salt because we don't know what's going on so far. I mean, it's 2026. We don't know who are going to be our primary leakers of the year or whatnot. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to dive into, so I want to just start talking about them. But real quick, I want to say thank you guys so much for tuning in today. You guys are getting us even closer to our massive goal of 400K. You can make that happen by just leaving a like and subscribing. Let's see how many people we can get to like and subscribe on today's video, especially if you're excited for the upcoming Nintendo Direct. You're going to want to be sticking around here for all the news and updates. Now, I do have to say this before we get started because apparently people think when I talk about rumors, that means I guarantee they're going to happen, and when these things don't happen, you guys blame me. Look, these are rumors. Don't believe them if you don't want to. Believe them if you want to. I don't care. Take everything with a grain of salt. Nothing that I say today is guaranteed to happen whatsoever. So once again, I just have to say that because people don't understand how rumors work. All right, so we got to start off with probably our most non-trustworthy leaker, which is funny because we also have one on this list that's never leaked anything before. This one's just very interesting to me. So Necro Felipe comes back, and if you guys heard me cover him in the past, he's gotten a lot of things wrong. He's very, very hit or miss. A couple things right. A lot of the time, it seems like he's only like predicting things that other people have already pointed out. Yeah, not a great track record, but he apparently comes out and has some information on the upcoming Nintendo Direct. This was to kind of end last year and to start this year. He tweeted out, 2026 is almost knocking at the door, and these are my projections right off the bat. January, at week 2, we're going to have Mario Tennis Fever news. In the second half of January, we're going to have a general Nintendo Direct, with February being saved for Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day of February 27th, which always happens. That's nothing new. But that week 2 thing actually happened. We got a Mario Tennis Fever overview trailer drop with a lot of information about the game. So far, he's kind of 50-50 because we know the February Pokemon stuff's going to happen, especially with this year being its anniversary and probably Gen 10 happening later this year. It's going to be a big year for Pokemon. But the second half of January being a general Nintendo Direct is still up in the cards. We don't know. We're just about to approach that second half of January as we move on the rest of this week and next week. It's not very often when Nintendo has a general direct on the 3rd or 4th week of a month towards that second half. They normally do it the 1st or 2nd week. So that's a little strange, but I mean, he has some reason so far for us to believe this. He called this back, at the end of 2025. So he had some type of news that Mario Tennis could have been coming, or he could have just predicted it. I mean, Mario Tennis is coming out on like the 2nd week of February, so I mean, it's a fairly good bet. I mean, we knew nothing about the game since its reveal, so dropping a big trailer about a month before it comes out was just kind of a given. It's something Nintendo has done in the past, so I mean, once again, I'm still taking this with a grain of salt. As of yesterday, he seemed to back this up even more because there's been scheduled maintenance going on this week, all over this week. Tons of stuff happening with Switch and Switch 2 maintenance, and then Necro Felipe just commented on it and said several maintenance tasks throughout the next week, just with like a little face or something, whatever that is. So yeah, kind of maybe hinting at there's still going to be some type of general direct or something before the month ends. Look, I would love for this to happen, and hopefully Necro Felipe can raise his track record with the beginning of 2026 here and get this prediction right. I'm rooting for him, but we're just gonna have to wait and see because we have some contradicting reports. Now, our other source is Nash Weedle, and he's been kind of back and forth as well, but he's gotten a lot more right, and as of the last couple of years, he's been pretty spot on. Like, he knew information about Metroid Dread, he knew information about the Switch 2 and certain event dates and stuff. He's been doing a lot better. So we're keeping an eye on him and seeing exactly what he's been talking about recently, and he does kind of just let us know that it seems like February is going to be the time frame for the Nintendo Direct. Now, I will get into that more in a second, but I want to go back to Nash Weedle because he's actually also got some information apparently on some games. We just got a trademark update for the Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes, which is pretty interesting. But after that as well, Nash Weedle comments saying why Zelda Triforce Heroes and Zelda Four Swords Adventures might be on the way to Switch 2. As part of the Zelda anniversary, to boost game chat through multiplayer, new patents explore coordination between multiple players, trademark registrations, unifying the two games. I would personally love something like this. I know a lot of people are really wanting Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. I get it, like you guys really want those Wii U editions over where they're, up res a little bit and they just run and look better. I do too, but I kind of would also rather have a game that I know is locked to a way past console where I just can't really have any opportunity in playing. I mean, I guess so is Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, but I mean, something like Triforce Heroes sounds pretty cool and is a good reason to use game chat now. There's not many games out right now that really would be a good reason for this. Like, there's no Splatoons or big multiplayer experiences. So yeah, using this with some buddies and stuff and solving puzzles and things would be really cool. It's not as bad as people make it out to be. I think it's as bad as what the other players make it. You know what I mean? If you got a bad team with you, it's going to be a miserable experience. But if you got people that know what they're doing, you can have a really fun time with this game. And I never was able to play Four Swords Adventure because I never had friends with that game and link cables and all that jazz. So I never really got to experience that with other people. So being able to finally experience that would be so cool. Now, I will say Four Swords Adventure is technically already on the NSO app. So I don't know, like, to what degree is this? Maybe it's a new Four Swords Adventure or something like that, like a new style of multiplayer Zelda game and kind of like the Wind Waker style with the child links. But I don't know. Either way, this sounds pretty interesting, and if they do this on top of like one really big game like that Ocarina of Time remake that's been heavily rumored, I think it would be a pretty cool addition, honestly. Nash Weedle then drops something extremely bizarre and states, "I've received information about a Nintendo game in development for Switch 2 with the following details. A game featuring fist-fighting combat, strong online component, and comes with improvements in input lag for sound and vibration that enhance the impact sensation," and states, "The clues have led me to think of the sequel to the Switch fighting game. What do you think?" Obviously talking about an ARMS 2. I often feel like I was one of the few people that played ARMS as much as I did when it released. Like, I got to the highest ranking and was competing like extremely hard at this game. And then after a couple of months, it just kind of died out and I kind of gave up about it, like even as it was adding some more characters towards the end. But I liked what they were doing with the game. I feel like the game had a lot of sauce and flavor. It just needed some improvements with certain things like the movement and stuff. But I actually really liked it. And for a new IP, I could see them actually doing something more with this later on. So I wouldn't be completely opposed to seeing a new ARMS game. But with that said, I don't know if this would be the smartest idea from Nintendo right now. I know it's a new IP, but also it came out very early, like literally year one, a couple months after the Switch 2 launched. And even for a new IP, with it releasing that early on a brand new console, I kind of expected it to do better. It sold around 2.7 million copies, which was just fine. I mean, I think it's really good for a new IP, like I said, but as far as for what Nintendo needs right now, I don't know if this is necessarily something that they'd want to do. But even though, after reading all that information about this game being a fighting game with an online focus, I also thought about instantly Punch-Out! I really miss Punch-Out!, man. Since the Wii it's been, and I want to see my boy Little Mac again, outside of being the worst character in Smash Brothers. Sakurai, please make him better next time. But yes, I want to see a new Punch-Out!. I think that'd be awesome to have a big online multiplayer component to it. Tons of new moves and stuff, kind of like that cool arcade fighter that it used to be. Bringing that back would be great, or literally just having Little Mac be in ARMS in some capacity, even if they give him Robo-ARMS stretch or something. Little Mac needs to make a revival, but either way, I think this is a pretty interesting leak if this is an upcoming game or not. Now we have this account on Twitter known as Beun. This is a well-established account that's followed by a lot of other mutuals of mine. They just gave me a follow and actually posted out a tweet that was very interesting. Now, I've never heard of Beun before this and never even seen them leak anything. So yeah, take this obviously with the grainiest grain of salt. But they tweeted out, Nintendo Direct. No Nintendo Direct will take place in January. However, in February, there will indeed be a huge Nintendo Direct featuring the upcoming 2026 games, of course, including the one everyone's waiting for, a new 3D Mario. Date? February 10th. Now, they could just be speculating, they could have actually had some type of source tell them something. It's just very weird that they came out and tweeted this, but it blew up very quickly and made my rounds on Twitter fast. And I see a lot of people just kind of cautiously looking at this. Of course, I'm not getting my hopes up for anything. I can't tell you how many times I got my hopes up for a big Mario announcement or something, but I thought I'd put it out there in case you wanted to hype yourself up a little bit. But please don't overhype, because if it doesn't happen, which it probably won't happen, do not come back at me and tell me that I told you it was happening. I didn't tell you. I did not tell you 3D Mario was happening. I'm going to have to like separately record me saying that on my phone or something for like even more credibility, because people will still come back and say, hey, you said this was happening. It didn't happen. I did not say it was happening. Final time. But yeah, that's a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt. But what do I think about all this? I think it could happen any sort of ways. I mean, we're in one of those years where they could once again surprise us with stuff. There's a lot of things for them to announce, and they could have a lot of separate presentations. For instance, we could get some type of like Mario movie direct this month instead. We could be also getting like a Zelda 40th anniversary next month, so maybe that's why they want to have a general this month. They could also combine them like they did with Mario and have another 1 hour long show where they have the beginning be the Zelda anniversary, and then the rest of the show just be the general Nintendo Direct, so they could just do everything in February, or they can do everything in January. Who knows? I don't know. But regardless, I do still think this has to be a big one, and this isn't me predicting that this is going to be the greatest show of all time. I'm saying it kind of has to be big for Nintendo's sake. Not that I'm saying it's going to be big. I'm personally thinking it's going to just be okay, but I'm feeling like it has to, like Nintendo has to go into this thing with expectations of, we got to blow people's socks off. The Switch 2 has been selling pretty poorly over the holiday season. People are slowly starting to lose their interest and legs with this console because they do not have a system seller currently in the lineup right now. They need a big system seller game, and that's why I want to believe so bad that it's got to be time for 3D Mario, because something's got to save these legs of this console, because I'm telling you right now, going from now until the summer with the current lineup that we have, Nintendo's not going to get the sales that they're expecting, I promise you, because if they haven't with the holiday season that they already had with things like Kirby Air Riders and Metroid Prime 4, a brand new Hyrule Warriors, they're definitely not going to do it with Mario Tennis and Yoshi's Book, you know what I mean? So yeah, they got to have some heavy hitters in this direct for the sake of the Switch 2, honestly. I'm just hoping they actually come through and have some big titles to look forward to. Like, I really would love that 3D Mario. You have no clue. You probably do have a clue as much as I talk about it, but like, it's hard to believe from any rumor right now. Like, it's going to have to take the most reliable source ever, like Nate the Hate or the return of Pioro, to come back and confirm that a 3D Mario is coming out for me to believe this. But regardless, I think we can expect a Nintendo Direct probably in the first or second week of February. That's still where my guess is going. I don't think January is going to cut it, but we'll find out relatively soon. I would love a Nintendo Direct next week. I mean, my birthday's on the 20th, so having a Nintendo Direct, I don't even know when that would be. Let me look real quick. The 20th is a Tuesday. It could happen. It could happen right after MLK Day. It could happen. We'll see. Birthday Direct, reveal of 3D Mario. My life is yours, Nintendo. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a blessed day, guys. See ya.